All right. Thank you, everyone, for your patience for traffic issues that came up. And it's 5:37. I would like to call to order the Mashpee Public School Committee business meeting to order for August 20th, 2025. Our first order of business is the Pledge of Allegiance, where is the flag? Um, we can, I guess, dispense with that.
That way because there's a flag out in the middle in the front yard.
There you go. Thank you, Mrs. Pettingill. I like your. Wait. Dr. Connors.
Dr. Connors to the rescue.
I'm just gonna hold it though.
That works.
Figure right out.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. The Mashpee Public Schools recognize and honor the many generations of Wampanoag people who live and are sustained in this territory and have been sustained in this territory for more than 10,000 years. All right. Just for my fellow committee members, you'll notice a little bit of a change to our agenda. We have a consent agenda we are going to start implementing, and that basically means that we will entertain a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda unless there is something you wish to pull from the consent agenda for further discussion. On tonight's agenda, we have approval of the minutes and to ratify the agenda. So, unless there is any discussion you would like to have on either of those two, I will entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
Madam Chair, I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda as listed.
Thank you, Kelly. Brian, do you want to?
Okay.
Thank you. Any discussion? Hearing none. Brian?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
And I also am a yes. Okay. Public announcements and agenda item requests. Do we have anyone who has an announcement or an agenda request that can be from the school committee? We'll start there. Kelly or Brian, any requests?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Any announcements? No?
None at this time.
Okay, thank you. Anyone from the administration, or I guess we go to the public because I know the administration has a couple announcements. So anyone from the public? No? Okay. And any announcements from the administration at this time, or agenda item requests? Okay, thank you. Anyone signed up for public comment tonight? Thank you. All right, it's that time of year where we get to meet the members of Team Mashpee who are here to let us meet them. So,
All right, yes, we don't have them all.
Okay.
Sherry, would you mind putting my, thank you. All right, so on the screen, you will see that we have 30 of our newest members of our, what I like to refer to as our Falcon's Nest. This slide represents all 30 of them, and you can see across all schools and the 4 district members that you met, you've already met. We worked diligently. When I say we, really, human resources, payroll, our principals and leaders to really hire the absolute best possible candidates that we can for our students. And that's what we truly have, an amazing set of 30 people who are going to do great things for our students and families here in Mashpee. And I'm looking forward to talking more shortly about our orientation and the days that we were able to spend with our newest members. And so if you wouldn't mind, those of you who are here that are new, just come up and introduce yourself so they can put a face to a name. Come on up.
we're friendly. We won't bite.
Hi, everybody. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
My name is Matt Burrows. I'm the new band director at the middle high school. Really excited to be here and be an Eagle. Let's go.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Falcon, but
Falcon.
we'll let it
Oh,
slide.
We'll let you slide.
Nice to meet you. Go band.
Hi, I'm Jane Redmond. I'm the new building principal at the Kenneth C. Coon School, and I'm so excited to join the Mashpee Public Schools.
Welcome.
Welcome.
I enjoyed your welcome video that's been circulating around from Mashpee TV. So,
I
Thank
think
you.
it's going viral. That's what I heard.
yeah.
Hi, I'm Sarah Ward. I'm a new social studies teacher for the middle school. Thank you for having us.
Excellent.
Thank
Welcome.
you. Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm just so thrilled that they chose Mashpee. We're really fortunate to have them, and I look forward to working with them.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Yes, welcome to all. I do recognize one name as a former Mashpee person, so it's kind of cool to see some Mashpee alum now teaching. So excited,
Absolutely.
excited to welcome everyone. So I hope you all have a great year.
Is Nathan Ellis, the Nathan Ellis highlighted Nathan
I don't know.
Ellis? That'd be pretty
I
cool.
would. Okay. Kira, I know there's not too much to report, but if you have anything you'd like to report, the floor is yours.
Okay. So recently I invited the other SAC members to the Historical Society presentation. I was able to get one member to show up. So we went and watched it, and it was a really great experience. And it was great to see everyone be rewarded for their work that they put into the history of Mashpee. I thought it was very interesting, and it was nice to get part of the SAC together over the summer, even though it's really busy. I did get some negative feedback from the student body in regards to the summer reading. Just over the course of seeing people through sports and stuff and whatnot. Some of the things that people were saying was that obviously the options were pretty limited. Someone mentioned that they were having difficulty finding themes in the book, which was mentioned to be the reason why the books were selected, which I thought was interesting. And personally, I felt that the books weren't extremely challenging for the grade levels, at least for my part. So I guess shifting away from the negative part, I wanted to plan to organize SAC with Kathy. I know we talked about that briefly. And I also had interest in partnering with the student council, the school-wide student council, because I believe they're trying to build up that group, and so I wanted to make sure that voices were heard as it becomes more of a bigger part of Mashpee Middle High Schools. And I'd also like to gain more insight from the different club leaders that we have at Mashpee, maybe even in Quashnet too, because I feel as if sometimes they work in their own separate sections, and I'd love to get more of an insight on the different aspects of Mashpee and what we have to offer. So that's all that I have for this time.
Excellent.
Thank you, Kira.
Thank you. And yes, we will definitely be collaborating. And I know I spoke with Dr. Connors also that as the year starts going and as we get going, we'll either she, myself, or all three of us will kind of powwow together. Sorry, that was a wrong word choice there, but we'll collaborate on how to help with the report and what your group should be focusing on.
Yeah.
So that's kind of something that we've talked about, and once school gets started and the SAC starts meeting on its regular basis, we'll definitely be working, because we do have those meetings where the SAC and the school committee meet
Right.
jointly, so looking forward to that. Okay, and also student summer reading, we have that on,
Yeah.
so that's already on our list. All right, thank you. Okay, Dr. Connors, report and recommendations of the superintendent.
All right, I'm excited. I hope you are too. We'll see. So the Boston 25 Zip trip paid a visit to Mashpee on July 25th. So many members of the Mashpee community were there, and it was an absolute great time. We had such an amazing time showcasing our students, because that's what it's about, their talents, amazing bands and choral groups, our artists. You can see that collective effort in the Mashpee Creates sign, our sports teams recognized there. So it was really an opportunity to truly showcase the incredible talents of our students and our staff here in Mashpee. Our HVAC team is hard at work at MMHS. I had the opportunity to meet with a couple members of the team. They are just absolutely delightful, so committed to the work, so respectful of the environment, and recognize that they are doing this for the students and the staff at Mashpee Middle High School, and just truly a very personable bunch. It was nice to really walk the halls and interact with them. And again, they are committed to ensure that we're ready for opening week, and I'll talk more about that later in this presentation. You'll also see our newly completed Falcon Flyer, fully decaled and decked out and ready to go. I really want to extend my great appreciation to Consuelo Carroll for all of her work on this, and I look forward to discussing all the possibilities about how we can utilize it to get it out there.
We need to make the first stop right in front of Whistle Stop
You
to get ice cream for Mr. Myers because this was one of his pet.
Oh,
Yes,
excellent.
Pet
Make sure
projects.
we'll capture that in the notes.
this was his pet project.
So, I mean, along with Consuelo, obviously, but I
Yes.
know Don expressed a lot of interest in seeing it finally completed.
Yes.
I think we should all take a field trip and
Yeah.
get off the bus right in front of the stop.
Perfect. I think that would be great. That would be great. Make sure he's there. So,
Yes.
Yes, of course. These are just some of the happenings over the last month since we were last together. So throughout the hiring process, and as you can see, we've been quite busy hiring. I've had the opportunity to meet personally with our newest team members as they come into central office to complete their paperwork and their onboarding and officially accept their position in Mashpee Public Schools. So that's been really nice, just getting to know them and why they chose Mashpee. It's been eye-opening and very enlightening. We held our leadership days with all of those who work to support teaching and learning in Mashpee, the large group of leaders, on the 29th and the even larger group on the 30th. Our focus on those days was getting to know one another as a team, of course, because there's not so much new faces amongst them, but a lot of new faces for them with the leadership team, and kicking off our work on school improvement plans. So getting to know and operationalizing the strategic plan for this year and how that connects to their work in the schools and their departments. And that will be, the schools are ready to present their school improvement plans at our October meeting. So that will be something new and exciting as well. Mashpee Public Schools, Mashpee Police Department, and Mashpee Fire Department met to review and update our emergency protocol to ensure that we are providing a safe environment for all of our staff and all of our students here in Mashpee. It was just a wonderful opportunity to sit and collaborate. It was incredibly relaxed. Which I don't know about you all, I was a little nervous with all the, the police and fire in the room. It was such a great meeting and really collaborative in looking at, for example, our protocol for when guests come to our schools, and are we asking for identification, or are we requiring identification, again, to ensure that everyone is safe in our building. So it was an enjoyable meeting. On August 2nd, we held our school committee retreat. Fortunate to have our partners from MASC there to present to all of us as we work together to build our cohesive team. We had a packed agenda, to say the least, and an incredibly productive morning to ground ourselves in the work that we have ahead of us here in Mashpee. I am a self-proclaimed nerd, but I do enjoy those kinds of Saturdays where we're working together and digging in with kids at the center of that work. I also had an opportunity to visit extended school year. As you know, all of our programs were held at Quashnet this year because of the HVAC. The students, it was adorable, enjoying snacks and playtime. In fact, one of the young friends had Lorna Doone cookies, which happens to be my favorite, if anybody's wondering. I'm just saying. Lorna Doone, yes, love them. They were socializing with their peers, they were playing and having fun, and I'm just so appreciative of our teachers who work almost all summer. They just have a very short amount of time off to ensure that our students are getting what they need through the ESY program. I'm also pleased to announce that we've hired Janelle Carey, who's a teacher at Quashnet Intermediate School, as our Indian Education Grant Coordinator. Not only is she a member of the Mashpee Wampanoag tribe, but again, she is a member of our school department. I've met with her to discuss feedback that I've received over the last few months about how we can strengthen the Indian Ed tutoring, for example, really looking at data and grounding ourselves in what our Wampanoag students need to be successful, to accelerate, and how are we just ensuring that it is data-driven and in collaboration with the Tribal Education Department. We talked about our shared vision moving forward. She and I are meeting again this week to really begin that process and plan our outreach to our Wampanoag families as well. So I'm very excited about that opportunity. And then finally for this slide, you already alluded to it, may have started to see some of the MPS faces on Mashpee TV responding to the question, what is your wish for this school year? I'm very excited about expanding our partnership with Mashpee TV. They've always been wonderful here with us, and they're really looking at ways to get Mashpee Public Schools out there more in our community and showcase all of the amazing things that are happening here. And again, as school committee member Robson always says it's great to be in Mashpee. And it truly is, and we just want to make sure that we are showcasing that. As I mentioned, we were fortunate to have our new employees with us for 2 days at the district level as part of the new employee orientation. And so on August 14th, we were honored to spend time with 3 significant partners in our community. The Mashpee Wampanoag Tribe's Indian Education Department hosted us in the morning and provided us with nothing short of an incredibly impactful professional learning session that deepened our own knowledge of the Mashpee, the history of the Mashpee Wampanoags. And what I really, and I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure I get this right, ensure that we are better prepared to focus on cultural literacy in our schools by utilizing accurate tense and terminology, centering tribal relationships, and employing quote-unquote two-eyed seeing pedagogy when teaching and learning. And that I pulled directly from my notes as a learner and sitting in that professional learning, and I just am so thankful for our partnership with the Wampanoag Tribe. Later that day, we were hosted by the Mashpee Historical Society as we visited the one-room schoolhouse. If you look at that picture, I think our new employees look amazing. They fit right in, settled right in.
Yeah.
It was quite an enjoyable experience to kind of put ourselves in the seats, literally and figuratively, of students who came before us. And then our final stop, last but certainly not least, on the tour was Polar Cave. Mark Lawrence and his team outdid themselves with likely, no lie, the best ice cream I've ever had. And I say that because I have gluten-free vegan ice cream. It was amazing. You never know that. I know it sounds awful. No, it was the chocolate peanut butter one. If anybody's interested, it was the perfect way to end a packed 2 days of orientation. I've already let Monica know that we may have to build it into the budget because I think teachers are expecting ice cream every Friday. Yes, on a regular basis. So I'm just so incredibly grateful to our hosts throughout the day and to everyone across our schools district and just the town of Mashpee for the warm welcome. But we have certainly set the bar high for our new employees, what they're expecting. I just want to say we're glad they're here. On Sunday, August 17th, I had the opportunity to volunteer at the Falmouth Road Race alongside the MMHS boosters. We boarded the buses at 5 a.m. on a Sunday morning to head over there. Our crew of parents and students manned water stations and controlled the starting line. It was quite intimidating. You have thousands of runners very anxious to participate in this race. And you can see all of us in our orange shirts. We literally were the only barrier between runners and them starting the race throughout the entire, and from, yes. And nope, sorry, you can't go up to the starting line. You have to stay there to take a picture, like that kind of thing. But it was just amazing, and everybody working together. And look at them. We have teenagers in high school smiling at 6 o'clock on a Sunday morning. It was truly an awesome experience. We also, a couple of our students did participate in the race, so I want to give a shout out to them. But while I give a lot of credit to the runners, I'm a little biased. I think our families and our students are the true champions of the day because they were there. I also need to acknowledge Mr. and Mrs. Brody because throughout the week leading up to race day, they are really behind the scenes organizing our volunteers, our student volunteers and parent volunteers, to get everything ready, from parking cars to packing the bags for the expos. And so without them, none of this would be possible. So we're really fortunate to have them doing that work with us. This is an exciting week in our schools, welcoming our newest learners to our Mashpee community. At the Kenneth Coombs School, we had our pre-K and kindergarten popsicle and play that took place yesterday. I was able to stop by. We couldn't have asked for more perfect weather to see our littlest friends, and they were just so excited. And the youngsters in their best outfits, running all over and playing and making new friends was truly, I have to say, the highlight of yesterday. Today, I was able to stop by the Quashnet Intermediate School for one of the third grade scavenger hunts. They had them running throughout the day. This particular one was Mr. Souza's. And so just seeing those students, I always chuckle because they introduced me as like this some important person. And that feels weird to me because I think of the work that we do of just ensuring that they're having the best experiences they can as students in our schools. So that was great to meet some new incoming third grade friends. And then tomorrow evening, MMHS is holding their Jump Start program for our incoming grade 7 students as well as any new students to Mashpee Middle High School. So I'm looking forward to that opportunity. Convocation, big day, when we get to welcome every staff member back from their summer break. I'm incredibly excited, very, very nervous about this day. It's a lot of, it's a lot of pressure to set that tone, but I'm looking forward to it in the most wonderful way. There will be humor, I hope. Again, I always say I went into teaching because I can't be a comedian, so we'll see. But I'm excited about the year of great possibility ahead of us. But even more exciting than welcoming
Sorry,
staff.
one quick question.
Yes.
Who designed the Mashpee Creates logo? I know it was on the Zip Trip band
Oh,
shirts, just out of
yes.
curiosity.
And anybody jump in and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that it is a true collaboration among the many students in the variety of art programs that we offer at Mashpee Middle High School, that kind of had a little part of everything. So it's not
That's
just,
cool.
it wasn't just like one artist or one art class.
It looked great on the Zip Trip
Yeah.
shirt, so kind of
Yes.
was like, I want
Go
one.
ahead.
But-
Go ahead, sir, hold on, Michelle.
Matt, oh, yes, please.
You have an answer?
Yeah, sorry.
That's okay.
No.
Oh, please.
So the Creates was a true collaboration between the students and the staff, like Dr. Connor said, but one student did lead it, and I'm struggling with their name right now because I had met them like 5 months ago, so I apologize, but we plan to do a little commemoration thing for that student once it gets going because it was wonderful. We gave it to the art department and they said, okay, how about this? And then a student took it over and
That's
truly
amazing.
did it. So we really love it and we're excited that the Creates team is still part of CTE. It's great. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you
I'd
so
say
much.
we, our
Yes.
Mashpee store, should get some of those things.
Well, funny you should say that because as we were there at Zip Trip that morning, many people were stopping by our tent and asking if they could have a T-shirt because they were so amazing. And those were for our students who are participating in Zip Trip. And so Consuelo has said that she is ordering more. We will be selling them in the store. I wanted to also, I tried, of course, you know, I tend to be late on a lot of things sometimes. I wanted to get them as the new teacher for our new teacher, staff returning, excuse me, T-shirts, but we didn't have time to get the logo done and everything, or the budget for that. But we're working on it. They will be available in our store, so
Awesome.
they're amazing. All right, as I mentioned, I'm excited to welcome all of our employees back, but I'm even more excited to see all of our students next week. So Wednesday, the 27th, grades 1 through 12. And the next day is the first day of pre-K, big day for our littlest friends, very exciting. And then I encourage our families to make note of our open house days. I love that they are right off the bat in September, and it gives our families opportunities to come in and meet the staff and the teachers and tour the building. And more information will be coming out from the building leaders in the coming days. And then wrapping up my part before I turn it over to Mrs. Hill, our Assistant Superintendent. We received word yesterday from the Department of Elementary and Secondary Ed that our district review will be the week of October 14th through the 17th. Now, it's not all of those days, but that's kind of the block of time. So we got those dates yesterday, and already today they're reaching out to us in support, offering to set up time to talk and doing that document collection. So I'm very excited about this visit. I'm excited to talk to our staff about it next week, and then excited to share it with our families too about what the positive work that will come out of this and what it means for our students. Principal Brady and I met with Catherine and Brad with DPW yesterday to get an update on the progress of the HVAC project. Beginning Monday, that work will shift to second shift. They'll be doing some work in the courtyard during the day when students are there, but they won't be in the building, so there will be no impact on teaching and learning in the classrooms. And then at night, they'll be in the building working second shift to do that. There'll be no impact on classrooms. We're ready to go. We'll be ready to open schools. The floors are not going to be as shiny at Mashpee Middle High School as they are at our other schools because of all the work, but that's okay.
What about sports in the locker rooms, and are the teams gonna have access to the gym and the locker rooms
Yes,
and athletic
the
wing?
students will have full access to everything. Nothing
Okay.
will be closed off. Now come December, the work shifts a bit as they really are getting inside to the guts of heating and ventilation and cooling. And so they have a very structured calendar and plan of having to close down about 5 classrooms per week and rotate that. But Principal Brady has been aware of that since before school ended in the spring and has already been talking with her staff about those impacts. My question, of course, was twofold, kind of controlled chaos in the building because when students, and I adore them all, but they will say, I just don't know where I'm going as a opportunity to wander. But Principal Brady said that she and her team are already on top of that. They have a plan. Students will either be in the library or the auditorium. I then questioned the impact on teaching and learning, and she said, again, she's been working with her teachers to talk about the type of instruction and planning that needs to go on so that teachers will have the schedule ahead of time, so that by April, we should be in great shape to turn on the AC. The reason we have to close down classrooms during that time is because, again, there will be no heat and no ventilation starting in January. Not something we want to subject anyone to.
One other quick question. So you
Yes.
mentioned that there will be time when workers are there, when students are there, but they'll be outside.
Mhm.
And we'll have like a list of, I guess I just want to make sure that everything will be
Right.
secure, that the students won't be interacting with the workers, and we'll know who's on site. Kinda.
Absolutely, and we have that. We have the list of
Okay.
everyone who is working on the project.
Okay.
Yep, they've all gone through the Corey process. They all have ID badges,
Okay.
everything.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
We're thinking of like the wintertime and inside, and did you say they're moving to second shift?
They will start, so next week, will really kind of be almost double shifts for a little bit. That daytime shift though, when students and staff are there, they'll be outside of the building.
Mhm.
And then beginning at 4 o'clock, 4 to 11, they'll be working inside the building. And they are aware, both from me and from Brad, that the expectation is that we shouldn't know they were there the night before when we come in the next morning. And they were incredibly, oh, absolutely, of course not, you will not even know. So,
Just thinking of, plays, concerts, athletics, everything that goes
Okay.
on after hours at the schools.
Most of like the plays, I think, like that type of stuff I think is done by 4. I was thinking more athletics and making sure that, the locker rooms, like to your point, the
Yeah.
question,
and Principal Brady, as part of the bid process, did give the company all of the dates, all
Okay.
the evening events. And at this time, she's now just cross-referencing that with, as we finalize the district calendar, as well as testing dates, because moving classrooms in the spring.
Mhm.
May is really the worst at Mashpee Middle High School for testing, but there's some impact, so she's cross-checking all of that as well.
Beautiful.
I went in there very apprehensive yesterday. I left very confident
Okay.
that it's well under control.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. This next item will just require school committee vote because our handbooks, as you know, are policy. So given the number of changes that we've had taken place in the district over the last 12 months, there just wasn't an opportunity to really dig into the handbooks to see where we have some redundancies or inconsistencies. And so what I'm asking of the committee is that we simply take the school year 24-25 handbooks and roll them over with no changes to anything. And then that gives us an opportunity this year to convene a subcommittee to look at the handbooks, to ensure they're appropriate by level, developmentally appropriate by level, but also that there's consistency so that when students go from Coombs to Quashnet to Mashpee Middle High School, things are not changing so dramatically for them. So that will be the piece that I'll pause and just request a vote on accepting the school year 24-25 handbooks being rolled over into school year 25-26.
anyone want to make a motion and second and we can discuss?
I'll make a motion.
Thank you.
Second.
Thank you, and we can discuss. Any questions, comments? Dr. Connors had kind of spoken to me a little bit about this. I think it makes sense to allow for a subcommittee to kind of go through. I don't think we've kind of updated. We did have a series of updates, I believe, last year, if I'm not mistaken. I think, what we have currently will suffice for the year, and That's my thought on it, so I'm in support of this, but Kelly and Brian, if you have thoughts or comments, please share them.
Yeah, Brian.
No, my only thing is, it's a handbook, right? It doesn't fall under the policy, so we wouldn't have to do all that stuff. We'd have to take the motion to waive the first read. I mean, it's still the same, right? Correct, so
Correct,
I don't really think it needs to go through that.
correct. Right,
Okay, yeah, I have no questions. As long as it's staying the same and we're not
yes,
editing anything, I feel comfortable moving forward.
thank you, Brian.
The only edits are the names and dates.
Yeah.
Just so that it reflects current.
No, I have no issues either.
Okay,
I read through it, I kind of sent Sherry what I saw.
okay,
But yeah, other than that, I mean, the policy subcommittee can go through this intensely if they need to and make sure that everything is up to snuff.
yeah, typically the superintendent and the district leadership team usually makes the edits and then brings them to us with, as recommendations, is typically how it works, and then we review their edits.
Well, this is policy, correct?
No, this is the handbook for this is the student handbook, parent guardian student handbook. This isn't policy per se.
But this has the policies that we implement.
It references them.
You've already
We-
voted on
yes.
those policies.
So the
this is
policy-
the procedure, if you will.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why typically
Mhm.
leadership team will go through, make edits, recommend them to the school committee. Like Brian said, we can either have a first reading, go to
Yeah.
a second reading, or dispense with it.
And start over,
And-
yeah, okay.
So we have a motion and a second. I'll call the vote. Brian?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
I also am a yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank
And
you.
last but not least, I will hand it over to Mrs. Hill for an update on teaching and learning.
So I'm just gonna mention a few things that have been going on since we last met. We wrapped the first season of the Falcon Flyers program that started to kind of give students an opportunity to keep their skills fresh during summer and sort of reduce that summer slide, while at the same time giving them some really wonderful hands-on opportunities through different subject areas, such as science and art, and the program was really successful, so we're excited to get feedback on that from the families that participated and plan for next year. I also had the opportunity to run the substitute training and orientation, which I was so impressed that Mashpee does this. I wish all school districts would do this. We had about 30 participants of potential substitutes that are interested in working in Mashpee, and it gave them an opportunity to kind of learn more about the procedures and the expectations. They did their mandated trainings, and it was just a really great opportunity to help them feel more acclimated and ready to do their job in Mashpee and make learning more seamless when they do come into sub. So that was really fantastic. You already heard about our new teacher orientation, which was a great opportunity to get to know all these people who are joining the team here in Mashpee, and there's just a great level of enthusiasm from all of the members, whether they're experienced educators or brand new to the profession. It was just a great opportunity to introduce them to Mashpee and tour the district and get to meet some key stakeholders. So that was a great event that we held over a 3-day period. We're going to be training some new mentors for our mentor program, and I'm going to be working on developing the mentor program for our Unit C members. That was agreed upon in the last contract, so we're really excited to get that going this fall. A couple of curriculum updates for you. In the primary and intermediate school, we're going to be using Wonders 2023. They had previously been using Wonders. The company has come out with an updated version to help better support phonics and writing instruction, which was some feedback that our teachers had, and other teachers using the Wonders program had provided to the publisher. And so we're going to be testing that one out to see how we like it, but we'll also be engaging in a curriculum review on the literacy programs later in this year. and they'll take Wonders 2023 into consideration as they do that. We're also going to be continuing our work with Allison Mello. She worked with Mashpee last year, and so she's going to be working with our elementary school teachers this year as well, helping them to add strategies into their teaching of math, like small group instruction. I've been working with the principals of the different buildings to help them, go through their school improvement plans. And all of those school improvement plans are going to be connected to the bridge plan that the school committee had developed, as we talked about during the retreat. So there's going to be this direct line from the school committee's plan to the district admin's goals, to the building level goals, to teacher goals. So you should be able to see that through line for all people who are working in the schools, that we're all rowing in the same direction to try and achieve the goals of the bridge plan. And then finally, just to let you know, we're updating the EdEval documents to match the new rubric from DESE that was agreed upon with the Teachers Association last year. So, because currently the forms that we had didn't actually match the current rubric that has been agreed upon, so those are all being updated and will be ready to roll out to teachers this fall.
Beautiful.
Any questions?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, Brian's on TV.
I don't forget Brian's on TV, don't worry. I know he's there. Okay, so thank you both for those updates. I appreciate it and looking forward. I'm very excited. Monica, it's
Hi.
on you now. The floor is yours.
Okay, so we've got the budget versus actual up to August 12th, actual August 12th. What you see in the negative down on the expense line, the line curriculum, instruction and technology, the part that's negative is mostly encumbrances for technology that is offset by the school choice account. And then the other one that is in the negative is out of district tuitions. These are the ones that are confirmed. They are encumbrances still, but it may change a little bit depending on how that changes.
Okay.
Next page, we've got the revolving accounts. The amount you see on school choice it does not include encumbrances, which is why the handout that you have here,
The next one.
yeah,
Okay.
is including the encumbrances. That's mainly the HVAC that has been, that is in the process of getting paid.
Okay. All right. Nope, I know school choice, we're kind of at our floor. We're back at the bottom,
We
which
are.
isn't a bad thing, but our
Yeah.
safety net is not, quite what it was. So we have to definitely make sure we are paying attention to our budget, as we should be anyways, but I think knowing that with school choice. All right, thank you. Okay. Did you want to speak to, well, I can speak to the Mashpee Cares Committee article. I have been trying to coordinate with the Mashpee Diversity and Inclusion Committee, which Mrs. Hill, you are now part of.
Yes, I
You attended your
yes.
your first meeting last night. I don't know if they talked about it at all, but I did reach out to their chairperson, who unfortunately our schedules, she was away, then I was away, then she was away again. So we have to connect still. I don't think we're going to have this for the October town meeting.
Okay.
Is the bottom line. I think May is more reasonable, and I know, Brian, you spearheaded this. I just think with some of the confusion, what happened last year with this article, and if you want to be part of those meetings, Brian, I'm more than happy to include you. It's just coordinating the time over the summer was a little tricky. So, and with the deadline for the warrant, pretty much, I think it was gone Monday. I think we're looking at May for this article. That's not to say we still shouldn't pursue it. I do think we still should pursue it. I just think the discussion that needed to happen to clarify this article further hasn't happened in the way that we as a committee agreed upon last year. So that's where that stands. If anybody has any comments, questions, concerns, I'm happy to discuss, but that's my update on that one. But I am in, like I said, I am in the process. I have reached out to the chair, and we just need to kind of nail each other down, I think, to have the discussion. So that's where that one stands. And thank you for joining that committee.
Thank you.
So,
And I'll give an update when we get back.
yeah. And then, I know on, what was it? Thursday? No, tomorrow, or last Thursday, last Thursday.
Yes,
Yes.
we met, the superintendent and I met with the FinCom. They asked a few questions about why and how about this, the Special Education Reserve Fund. And we explained to them that it's not a new dipping account for the schools. As you mentioned, school choice is not being depleted, but kind of. And we do have concerns that special ed out of districts are going up. And we don't want to come back and ask for more money.
No, I had good feedback. I spoke to one of the members of the finance committee who said he thought it went well. So thank you both for, I tried my best to get out as early as I could, but driving from Chatham in the summer is not always an easy thing to get here in time. So thank you both for representing the district and discussing this with the finance committee.
Can I just say
Yeah.
one thing? That last time I missed it, and I just wanted to give a shout out to the central office, the team. They have been super welcoming to all of us. These numbers, for instance, in my case, I wouldn't have been able to give you this information without Darlene, Jody, Susan, Sherry, Margaret. They are awesome, and we feel super welcome. I know you had some concerns about previously. No, not at all. Arms open, hearts open, and we are very happy to be here.
Well, I'm glad to hear that,
Thank you.
and I'm glad to hear things are meshing and gelling very well. So
As I mentioned to Kathy today, oh yeah, I was teary-eyed again, I can't that. I just wake up in the morning and I want to pinch myself because it just seems, how could this be real? It's so good, it's so amazing, it's so welcoming. It's truly an honor, a privilege, and a joy to be here in Mashpee. So it feels good, it feels great.
Thank you.
and as I said to her, it'll just get better next week when all the kids come back.
Right.
So.
Yes.
Because I miss our presentation.
Right, the little ones.
All right.
By Fridays.
I know. So, any other questions before we move on from finance? Anything? Anyone? All right. On to subcommittee reports. I don't believe we've had any subcommittees meet yet. However, we have been scheduling subcommittee meetings. So, what we have kind of before us in the packet, it came to my attention, and I think all of us have experienced it to some degree at some point, that scheduling these meetings can sometimes cause a flurry of emails that sometimes then get lost and then we forget, and we're all very busy with full-time jobs, and this is, yes, we're elected, but also, not paid. So, we have lives outside of this room. That being said, we have a commitment to do the work that we committed to do. So in order to make everyone's life a little easier, I looked through our school committee handbook, because we as a school committee have a handbook for us to kind of guide our work. And we had a section on working subcommittees and working groups, but there was no actual protocol for scheduling. So I kind of asked if we could outline one so that both us on the committee and the administrative staff who are part of these committees and working groups, we're able to kind of clearly understand what the scheduling process will be. So that's kind of what we have before us, and basically it's just to establish a clear and consistent protocol for scheduling subcommittee and working group meetings by outlining the process. We aim to improve communication, which is one of our school committee goals that we set at our retreat. Respect participants' time, reduce staff workload, and support efficient committee functioning. So basically, it's very basic, but I just kind of liked having it in writing so we were all on, pun intended, the same page. So first, the meeting need will be identified either by a member of the committee or by the superintendent, and they'll be the one to determine that we need to call a meeting of a subcommittee or working group. The initial outreach, superintendent's executive assistant, who at this time is the wonderful Sherry, will email everybody who needs to be a part of that meeting, including the alternate, to let everybody who is associated with that working group and committee know that we need a meeting. Dates will be kind of floated at that time, or our response will be requested, and there'll be a specific reply by date. Once everybody replies by that date, then if the deadline for that response comes and goes, the meeting will be scheduled based on who replies. So I just want it to be kind of clear, we're all very busy. We're all working on very different things and doing very different, we all have different things going on, but I thought, to be respectful of all of our time and all of our energy that we put into these roles that we all sit in, that this would kind of help everyone understand, that we need to make sure we're answering and scheduling efficiently so that we can actually get the work done. There's nothing worse than kind of just talking and not getting the work done. So this is another effort to increase our efficiency as a committee, increase our communication both internally and externally, because anything we do in these committees usually impacts the students. So I don't know where it's a protocol and not necessarily a policy. We don't technically need to vote it. I'll defer to you and Brian if you would like to officially adopt it, but a protocol doesn't technically need to be voted on. But if you feel more comfortable voting on it, we don't have Dan and Camille here yet, or tonight, unfortunately. So I'm assuming they'll watch the video back and they have received it in the packet. But that's why this is before us. So any discussion?
I agree.
I guess my only thing is, once this is approved, are we under the assumption that it's gonna go into our handbook as a school committee, or is that something that, I don't know, because the school committee handbook is technically a policy,
I don't know that the school committee handbook is policy. I can check on that, but it is kind of like our protocol and guidelines for how we operate. That was kind of my next step. This was kind of a quick fix, but as I was reading through before I put this forward, it probably couldn't hurt to, I don't know if it would be the effectiveness, what is that subcommittee working group? The efficiency and effectiveness working group, to maybe go through the handbook for the school committee and make any updates or recommendations, because it does outline a lot of things that we as a school committee should be cognizant of as we're doing the work we do. Again, Brian, if you would like it to go to a policy, I mean, yes, I think it should be included in the handbook. I think we can clarify whether the handbook is policy or protocol. My interpretation is that it's protocol, not policy, but I'm open to putting it forward to Sarah or getting that definitive opinion for clarification and transparency's sake. I'm totally fine with that.
I think if we just put, maybe on the future agenda, if we're not gonna take a vote now because we're down 2 members, I think just putting the handbook on the future agenda, the next agenda, for us to look at and provide edits, and just kind of follow up with an email. Maybe it's the chair or the superintendent just saying, hey, take a look at this, because we're looking for any other edits or revisions to this document, and then maybe we can have that discussion and vote on. There could be some other edits that
Yeah.
the committee would like to see as well. So I think that would be something that we could do just to make sure it is in there, because I do agree that we need to do it, but I just don't know about just voting on this, because I feel like it should be in that document for future school committees and stuff like that.
Okay, that totally makes sense to me, and I think that's very doable, so thank you.
No, I
So,
agree
Thank you.
with it being too short. I mean, I agree with what it is, 100%. But I think we need the other two
okay,
to honestly make a final decision.
all right, then we will do that. All right, thank you. And any other, did you want to speak about
I
your
just-
meeting last night?
Yeah, I was very fortunate to join the Mashpee Inclusion and Diversity Committee as the school representative. And the team there was very warm and welcoming, as everybody in Mashpee has been. And they were highlighting something that they wanted the community to kind of know more about, which was a series of articles that they're writing that are being featured in the Enterprise that are focusing on different marginalized groups that should be given more voice. So they recently had one that was written by the chair, Marie, on ageism, and she's encouraging one to be written from a student's perspective, from the teenage perspective of ageism. But they also highlighted some of the previous articles that they had done. I was really impressed with the 3 students that were partners there. So Fernanda, Lily, your daughter, and Max, they were so kind. After the meeting, they came up and spoke with me and were such impressive young people that, you know, it was great to see their level of advocacy and interest in advancing the voices of all people in the town. So I just wanted to mention what a great group that was. They did mention wanting to connect with you about the article, so
Yeah.
thank you for mentioning that.
Yeah, I know, like I said, Jay Marie and I were like ships passing, like, one of the downsides of summer, but can't blame her because she's been on some amazing adventures, I believe, so, yeah, well, thank you. I'm glad that was a good meeting and looking forward to what will come of that partnership. Okay. Next on the business agenda, we have the school committee self-evaluation results and our school committee goals. This is continued from our retreat, which was on August 2nd. So what we have before us is a summary of the self-evaluation. For those who are new to this, the Mashpee School Committee, we do a self-evaluation every year just before the turnover. So we can kind of get a sense of how we feel we did for the year. We kind of hold ourselves to 5 standards, providing responsible school district governance, setting and communicating high expectations for student learning, creating conditions district-wide for student and staff success, holding district accountable for meeting student learning expectations, that one's a mouthful, engage local community and represent their values, and those are kind of the 5 areas we kind of look to ourselves and the work that we do as school committee members. We reviewed the key findings, which if you're interested, the packet is available online, but you know, we did also come up with some recommendations based off of what we as a committee rated ourselves on. And then we use these data points as ways to kind of set our goals for the coming year, which that's what this is, right? Next steps and action plan overview, those are our goals, correct?
Mhm.
Yeah. I'm just trying to see if there's anything kind of to pull out. Key findings for, I'll just read a couple. Key findings under standard 1, which is school district governance. Members generally report that the committee collaborates well with the superintendent and honors their role. So there's one positive. One of the growth points or growth areas is that confidentiality protocols around executive sessions need reinforcement, which was really great because we did have our MASC field rep in attendance who provided us all with kind of a training, kind kind of a reminder and a refresher for all of us committee members on everything from what our role is to ethics standards for both, personal to state, how we operate, and communication and how it should flow, which was really helpful for all of us, I think, to, go through that training again. And I found it helpful and beneficial, and it's always good to review those things. Under standard 2, a positive is that the committee expressed belief in student success and high expectations. One of the growth points also tied to that is that we lack consistency in linking decisions to strategic goals. So that's something we're going to be working on this year, I think, as well. I'm just trying to see. I don't know. Kelly, did you have anything you want to add about? I could go through this, but I kind of, in the interest of time, if you're really interested, you can definitely go through and find our key findings and recommendations. But our overall themes, our strengths, our commitment to students, strong fiscal oversight, belief in high expectations, and efforts to engage the community. We're still working to make sure we are doing our best to engage the community. Our identified growth areas are transparency, data usage, curriculum oversight, consistent strategic alignment, and inclusive communication. So while we're trying to engage the community, we recognize that we need to maybe up that a little and how inclusive we can be with that. So from that, we kind of developed our goals, which is to develop and implement a clear communication protocol for public engagement and decision rationale. So we want to try and make sure that people understand the whys to some of our decisions and what we discuss and decide as a school committee. We want to standardize data review practices, including disaggregated student data and progress monitoring. So we're going to keep working with the superintendent and the rest of the administration to make sure that that data is kind of front and center as we are looking at what we look at and making the policy and budget decisions we need to make. We are also going to be ensuring strategic alignment by linking all committee actions and agenda items to district goals. So basically anything we're working on, we want to make sure that, as Dr. Connors mentioned earlier, everything is going to be linked to the district goals, the strategic plan, and the school improvement plans. We're going to make sure, because it's kind of, it's that pyramid, we need it to definitely all be linked so we can all move forward. We're going to strengthen community partnerships through open forums, clear messaging, and inclusive feedback methods. I think our engagement working group is going to have some work ahead of them on that one, which is fine. I think, we're all ready and open to that, so that was why we set that. And then improve internal governance practices with training and stronger adherence to confidentiality and role clarity. So basically, again, we went through that training, again, that kind of refresher with Sean, which was great. And I think we all now kind of have a real firm and clear understanding of our role, the superintendent's role, and how everything kind of flows. So that was really good. And we have our reading assignment, which I have finished the book, and I can't wait to discuss. So it will be good. So any questions, Brian, Kelly?
No, I'm good.
No.
Okay. That being said, we might have started 5 minutes late, but we kept it to an hour, folks. So I will entertain a motion.
Madam Chair, I move we adjourn.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Any discussion? No. Brian, how would you like to vote?
Yes.
Kelly?
Yes.
I also am a yes. We are adjourned at 6:36 p.m. Thank you, everyone.